50. This is the Mid-Morning Talk with me, Julie Alli. Welcome back. And we are now going to be talking with Hakeem Anderson-Lesolang. He's a holistic healer, corporate hypnotherapy consultant, and winning performance coach. He's the co-founder of the Fola Wellness and Healing Company. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program. And I'm really, really sorry that you've had technical issues on your side, which means that unfortunately we won't, be able to cover almost everything that I wanted to talk with you about this morning. Welcome.
I apologize for the technical difficulties on my end, but alhamdulillah, we're here now.
Okay. Let's start by talking about the Fola Wellness and Healing Company. What is it all about and where are you based?
So Fauna Wellness and Healing is a company that helps people overcome generational trauma, childhood trauma, emotional trauma, financial trauma, all forms of trauma, sexual abuse trauma, and all of that, and helps them establish their lives not with the things that they experienced they've had in the past, but what they actually want to their lives to become. So it's helping people optimize their performance, whether it be family, relationships, work, money, and success as a whole. So we start first with your internal world and how the relationships that you've experienced yourself in has impacted you. And then we deal with the echoes of those of your internal world and how you've reacted and responded to life by looking at your outside world and helping you master that throughout. And ever since we've established the company, we've done everything online. But this year, we're focusing on opening our first polyclinic, which is a mixed discipline polyclinic that's going to be operational in Johannesburg, Sandton. So September this year, I'm asking for everyone's du'as and wishes in order for us to make this a reality, inshallah.
Inshallah, Amin. We know that COVID came along and changed the world to the point where we even started interacting, learning, teaching, communicating, everything via, the social media platforms, etc., and via, this way of communicating. It cut out the face-to-face element. In your work, that I believe is a very important aspect, being a holistic healer with a hypnotherapy and everything else that you've covered. Um, and yet you tell me that you were doing all of this work online. Do you truly believe that you got optimal results doing work via online?
I believe the question would best be suited for our clients to answer whether they've gotten the most optimal results for the money they spent on doing these sessions with us online. But according to my understanding and our track record, whether we're doing sessions one-on-one or we're doing them online, it really doesn't matter. The results are going to show. They're going to show in how a person starts applying themselves, how they start approaching life, how they start changing their habits and actually improving on themselves because of our processes, obviously, and because of the frameworks that we use whenever we're in session with our clients. I mean, like my social media is littered with examples and testimonials of our clients actually declaring the kind of changes they've seen in their lives and how every other therapy that they've tried hasn't really yielded half or close to what they've experienced in working with us. So whether we do things online or whether we do them face to face and one-on-one, it really depends on the confidence of the person with the skill set to help you cross that chasm or walk over that bridge to the results that you want to see and live.
Alhamdulillah. Tell us, who is Hakeem Anderson-Lesolang and what made you take this path as your life's work?
So I'm a village boy. I was raised in Madidi, the northwest of South Africa, to two hardworking parents and who encouraged me to learn more of life and understand the condition of people and understand my own condition and how I fit in the world as well. And obviously, was raised in South Africa, so I lost my way. Then I found Islam through a brother, a friend of mine who was doing music. I was a musician in my past life. I feel like it is a past life. Um, I was a
Right.
musician, and I spent 20 years in the music industry. And around the time I was 16, 17, I met Khalid, and Khalid introduced me to Islam. I was already reading up on it, but I think that relationship with him actually solidified why I should be a Muslim and why I wanted to actually be a Muslim. And I'm a preacher's kid, by the way. So I grew up in the church. My foray into Islam was me looking for Jesus, and I found him in a beautiful way. And Islam detailed his lineage and his mother, and I just fell in love with how, um, his mother was being spoken of by God and our Creator. And I just fell in love with it, and I embraced Islam. Troubled start. Obviously, I'm a revert. I come from a family of Christians, a family of founders of a church. So that was difficult, but they still accommodated me and understood where I was coming from. And I'm grateful for my parents, the kind of life that they gave me and the understanding that they've fostered when it comes to my choices and the things that I wanted to do. Um, and stepping into my purpose, I decided to really follow what Allah wanted for me instead of what I wanted Allah to do for me. And it just took me back to the original reason why I started doing music. And I started doing music to actually help people not be stressed out, only to find out that the actual music I was making was assisting people to more stress, more engagements with things that are going to stress them out later. And so I left the music and just started focusing on what I actually wanted to do, and that was to help people. That led me to studying psychology, and hypnotherapy came about, and I was like, wait, I can get more results doing hypnotherapy or NLP or CBT or DBT or breathology and guided meditation than I will just with talk therapy. And that came from the research that I did. And that's not me knocking talk therapy. It has its use and it works really well for people that actually apply themselves. But hypnotherapy is for people that want results and they want a shift in their lives and they want to transform their lives. They actually have tried and tested everything else and it hasn't worked for them. And so they come to what actually is going to help them give results. And with my coaching background, that's how we then facilitate that. And so in 2018 and 2019, that's where the idea of Fowler Wellness and Healing came about. And I'd already started coaching already, and I'd already started practicing. But I think the establishing Fowler and just being clear about what I want it to be and how I want to serve people just allowed for me to actually give birth to it and make it a reality. And COVID came, and it was just another push to actually get it established. And yeah, that's been me ever since. I'm a father of three now, a married brother, and married to the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. And it's a great encouragement to believe in what Allah has in store for you if you walk towards Him.
Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. What a beautiful story. How long is it that you embrace the deen?
Apologies, I didn't get that question. Can you ask it again, please?
How long is it since you've embraced the deen?
Oh, my days. I have been a Muslim for close to 19 years now.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm fascinated by the fact that you call yourself a holistic healer, and I want to delve a little bit into the hypnotherapy. I've always been fascinated by that. But why
Yeah.
holistic healer? What is that saying to a patient?
So what that says to the patient is that instead of focusing on the symptom or the symptoms you're experiencing, we're going to look more at the root and how the root and the symptom as a whole affects your life holistically, internally, externally, your relationships, the relationships you have. How is the symptom affecting the way you live and how you approach life? How is it affecting the way you think about yourself and the way you feel about yourself? So my philosophy is Islamic psychology. So we focus on helping a person with jihad nafs. What we do personally in Fowler Wellness and Healing, how we've established age regression therapy is that it is jihad nafs. It helps you with jihad nafs, and it helps you rise from your nafs al-ammara bil-su and endeavors to get you as close to your ruh as you possibly can get. And I don't know anything that is better than knowledge of self to actually help you dig deep into why you do certain things the way you do them and why you feel about the experiences that you have the way you feel right now and how it's affecting the way that you approach life, you approach your dreams, you approach your goals and your vision for yourself and how you establish a relationship with Allah, and that is actually a 360 looking at your life instead of a 180 way of looking at your life. We go to the root of things and we work from there because we know when we heal the root, the tree is going to bear beautiful fruit. And who
Alhamdulillah.
doesn't want to drink juice from beautiful fruit? you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Regarding this holistic healing, probably hypnotherapy as well, and any other modalities that you do use in healing of people, um, I find that when the issue around coaching and counseling and therapy comes up in my social circles, it seems as if males are very averse to it. Females embrace it holistically, but males almost seem to think that if they go in for coaching or counseling, any form of therapy, they're going to be viewed as being weak. How do you
Yeah.
respond to something like that? And have you found in your practice that men seem to have an aversion to these different modalities, coaching, counseling, holistic healing, whatever it might be?
I in what I've seen, men have an aversion to talk therapy. But because the holistic healing is actually focusing on giving them the results that they want, they're more eager to go for it, to go for this version of doing therapy. So it's not just talking about the issue, but it's actually capacitating you to actually move towards the changes that you want to see easier than it would be if you were to use the tools that you get from talk therapy. And I think another reason why males would be averse to doing talk therapy or any form of therapy is because of what they know from either their friends or the people in their communities about therapy and how difficult it is and how they left to their own devices, things from the past come up after opening up. And so they don't want to experience life and that hardship of actually facing I'm putting this in inverted commas, facing the demons alone, right? So I feel there's a void in talk therapy that exists that has created a stigma against therapy when it comes to men actually going for it. The things that we hear about therapy, the difficulty, even on social media. If you just go on social media and look at people's conversation around therapy and how they feel that they left to their own whim to figure things out after a therapy session, it doesn't equip you with the right tools to actually deal with your emotions when they do come up. And the mere fact that you can only talk to your therapist when you see a therapist, that's where people feel like they're doing this alone and they're paying for nothing really. They can have these conversations with their friends and they won't feel as weak as they feel or as alone as they feel or disregarded as they feel. People are afraid of rejection or abandonment, especially when they're dealing with themselves. They need assistance and they need someone to hold their proverbial hand, if I can say. And so men go for the tried and tested with proven results. And if something doesn't say, hey, here are proven results, and this is tried and tested, and you're going to get the results that you seek, they're not going to go for it.
So the examples of tried and tested would be as opposed to talk therapy.
As opposed to, so people want to feel a significant shift in themselves or in their world when they invest hard-earned money in doing something, in doing anything really. People want to feel a significant shift, and if that is not the promise, if that is not the guarantee, then why would they give their hard-earned money to something that's not tried and tested and proven?
And I guess whether you're a male or a female, you have to be open to the session that you are going to be
Mm.
undertaking. If you don't have an open mind to it, there's no ways in the world that you're going to be healed or going to be on the path of healing. How do you get people to that space of relaxation and understand that you'll help them, but the hard work is going to be coming from their side. They need to fully embrace whatever therapy it is that they're embarking on. And if they don't embrace it, it ain't going to work.
Of course, I think education, 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 education. A session starts before the session. So if you are a practitioner and you don't have any information or education or like detailed breakdowns on how you work your therapy or the things that you do or the results that you get, or there's no testimonial. So if we don't educate people about what their experience is going to be, then they walk into the session blind. And if a person walks into the session blind, it's going to, especially when it comes to hypnotherapy or any of the modalities that we use in Fala, if they walk into the session blind, then there's going to be a lot of nerves and a lot of conjecture in their head that they build up before the session. And so the rapport building or the inductions that you do to actually get a person to relax or to go into a state of internal focus is going to be longer or is going to be even more difficult. But when a person is clued up, when a person knows what's required of them and they're very clear about what they want to achieve, then it just makes the work seamless, really. It makes it enjoyable even for them.
Okay, let's wrap up now by talking about toxic positivity. How does this play into our lives? What and how do we identify that the person is displaying toxic positivity behavior? And why would people do that?
All right, so I think we should define what toxic positivity is so that the everyone listening can understand what it is and see it from a clear vantage point. So toxic positivity is the belief that one should maintain a positive mindset no matter how dire or difficult the situation is. So while having a positive outlook is generally beneficial, toxic positivity takes it to an extreme. And we know, like we're Muslim, we shouldn't be taking anything to the extreme. We should always be moderate about things. But this extremity then forces one to deny or minimize or invalidate genuine human emotional experiences. And the reason why toxic positivity would even be experienced by a person or displayed by a person is that. So I've identified like at least 4 things really. Like it's a personal discomfort with negative emotion, and that discomfort that one feels when they feel negative emotions or they get denied something or they feel rejected, it leads them to avoid feeling those feelings. And so they go into perform positivity, right? And there's the social pressure to appear strong and in control, even when you don't feel strong and in control. Or is the misinterpretation of what positive psychology actually is or what the principles are for. And then there's also cultural norms that emphasize the importance of happiness and success without letting you in on the fact that for you to be happy, you need to feel fulfilled. And for you to be successful, there is going to be failure. You are going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to fail. But getting up is the thing that actually makes you successful. So it's all these things that are like warped in understanding of them, and they warped in our interpretation of them that actually would lead a person to become toxic in their positivity or just to become extreme, right? So that's why it exists.
Okay, we need to wrap up now because we lost a bit of time regarding the technical issues, but I do hope to talk with you again sometime soon.
Sure.
Let's wrap
Sure.
up by talking about any issue that someone comes to you for therapy, be it toxic positivity, anger issues, um, issues around low self-esteem, marital issues, relationships, etc., etc. Do you use different approaches for different personality types? Or when we look at you as a holistic healer, do you use or do you take bits and pieces from different modalities and then take that and help heal your patient?
Mhm. Absolutely. I mean, coaching is to listen, right? Like you listen into where a person is coming from. You're determining where they are just purely by hearing them out and having conversations with them and studying them. And that's going to tell you which modality to use or what framework to use for them in order for them to get the optimal results that they paid for, really. So, but more than anything, it's helping the client get to an understanding of themselves or how they got to where they got, and forging a way forward with them. So for us personally at Fola, what we do is we design our sessions specific to what the client's needs are and where they find themselves being, right? And so it's always going to yield positivity when you collaborate with the person you're working with and working for, really, because we're working for our clients instead of the other way around. So you working on being clear about the changes you want to see in your life, you being clear about how you got to where you are to a point where you need those changes, helps tailor your sessions for you so you get the most optimal results. And I always encourage an open mind about certain things. So suspend whatever it is you know about hypnotherapy, especially if it comes from movies and from Hollywood or from the West entirely. Suspend everything you know about it and come there with a clear a clear goal to get to the other side of where you are right now.
On average, and I know people differ, some people are more resilient. Some people, get the program within 2 or 3 sessions. So it does, some people's hurt and anger might be so deep seated that it would take more sessions before you can reach a point of comfort with the patient. But on average, what would you say how many sessions should a patient be spending with you to be able to move forward, understanding who they are and kind of regaining an understanding of who they are and where they're headed for?
Yeah, so we split our sessions in packages. So the first package is age regression therapy, and that's 10 sessions over 10 months. And in between the months, or the weeks between the months, we are talking, you're doing exercises, we habit hacking, we having a conversation, because there are blind spots, right? Like we'll talk about certain things in a session, and then we'll do the regression or the hypnotherapy part, or even the dialectical behavioral therapy part. And then, it opens the door to something that we never spoke about that's going to come out 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later. And so like that open communication that we keep with our clients allows for us to see and measure where you are. And in every session then, like we actually work on those things in detail and in depth. And so 10 sessions for us over a period of months is what we require from our clients, and that's going to, a lot of the places we find ourselves in are due to habits
Mm,
of
mm, mm,
habits of action, habits of just talent, like your talent, the things you declare about yourself or about your world or about others as well. These are the
mhm.
things that keep you stuck in the places you find yourself stuck in. And so undoing the habits is the goal, right? That's like the mode of hypnotherapy, is to actually shift your focus from the habits you have right now into new habits or into a new focus. And so that shifting is necessary. So the compound effect of every session on top of another after another is what's actually going to get you the result. So it would be difficult to quantify, for you to quit smoking, you need 2 sessions. What I know personally is that depression and anxiety, 3-4 sessions will be okay. So 3-4 months of actually doing the work and moving towards the changes you want to see is what's actually going to lift the depression and or the anxiety. Because anxiety is a worry about an uncertain future. And then depression is a worry and an obsession over the things that have happened in the past and the fear of them repeating again in your life, or you finding out that you are stuck in a loop and these things are repeating and feeling hopeless and helpless when it comes to changing your life, right? And so like the sessions help you cross that chasm. The exercises help you change your habits in order for you not to return to where you were initially.
Inshallah, sounds absolutely fascinating. As I've indicated, we're going to, we really need to do a follow up talk. We're going to
Mhm.
have to leave it there, but one important question is, does medical aid cover these sessions?
No, it does not. Medical aid, when you pay for medical aid, you need to understand what you're paying for. A lot of medical aids are for you to manage the symptom, not to heal it. We are healers. We are people that help you shift. We are people that help you transform your life. right? If you're healing and transforming, the condition doesn't exist anymore. And if the condition doesn't exist anymore, you can't get a prescription. You will not want to get a prescription. You can't get a prescription, you don't get medication. If you don't get medication, why are you paying for medical aid? It's a personal investment. It's a personal investment in your well-being, real well-being,
Mm.
not management of symptoms, not management of the problem. You have to move away from the problem. You have to move away from the pain in the root. You have to heal the pain in the root in order for you to see a significant change in the way you live your life. And that's what
Okay,
we do.
bottom line, it's really helping people break all of their long standing, very bad habits. And over
Indeed.
this period, it might be 4, 5, or 10 months. It is doable,
Absolutely.
and I have no doubt in my mind that you've helped heal lots of people. Hakeem Anderson-Lesolang, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you this morning. You are the founder of the co-founder rather of the Fola Wellness and Healing Center, who you've referred to yourself in the plural throughout the interview. Is there someone else on board with you, or is it a one-man show for now?
I do have a couple of partners, business partners, but in terms of as a practitioner, I am a one man show.
Okay.
But we will start training from June onwards. We'll start training processes and our practices and our framework as well to counselors and to therapists as well to psychiatrists in order for them to actually learn how to do this to help their clients achieve optimal transformation.
Wonderful talking with you. Go well. Enjoy the rest of Ramadan. And I do look forward to talking with you sometime soon. Salamu alaikum to
Inshallah.
you.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me.
It is exactly 16 after 12 o'clock, and I do believe that the producers are busy getting our next guest online. And that, of course, is Abdul Manak, who's going to talk to us about the Eid al-Fitr lunch for revert Muslims. And we'll wrap up the show today by talking with Zubaida Khan Dawood, who is a cybersecurity expert in the age of information.